Welcome to another Ask Arlington. I'm Jay Warren. You know, Ask Arlington is a show dedicated to answering the questions that you have about what's happening right here in our city. And on this episode, we're focusing on the new sewer line repair program being offered through a partnership between the City of Arlington and the Service Line Warranties of America. And here to help us with that today is Walter Buzz Pishker, the director of our Water Utilities Program. We call you Buzz, and Buzz, we're really happy you're here with us today to
Glad to be here,
answer
Jay.
these questions. Thank you. Now, as a little background, as I mentioned there at the beginning of the show, this is the letter. We got a copy of it here, and we're showing it to you on your screen as well, that was sent to Arlington Water customers last week. It's from a private company called SLWA for short, offering sewer line insurance to residents in the event that they have a sewer line issue on their individual property. And Buzz, we know this is an important issue. We've gotten a lot of resident questions, and I know you've received some of those as well. We got some through Facebook, and our first question actually comes to us from Santos Aguilar. And it's pretty straightforward and actually a good place for us to start, we thought, with all of this in this conversation. He wants to know how residents can get more information about this program. So let's kick it off, Buzz, with that. How did this program come about?
Well, most people don't know, but the sewer line from the main, which is typically in the center of the street, into their house is their responsibility. What the city has done is taken responsibility for the repair of that line in the right-of-way, which basically, for all intents and purposes, is in the pavement areas, because those costs are often very, very high and people really can't afford them. So we had to solve, so that's an issue that the city's been taking care of. That cost has been going up dramatically the last few years. So we were looking into more efficient ways to do that, because our customers, that's a cost to them in their sewer bill.
Sure.
So we started looking into that. A lot of residents had been solicited by other companies, and we got some inquiries from our council members and saying, gee, what's going on? Why aren't we involved in this? Should we be vetting this or whatever? The National League of Cities had endorsed a warranty program. The COG here, the Council of Governments, had actually done it. So we were asked to investigate that. So we had two things going on. We had someone soliciting our residents, and they were concerned, is this legitimate or not? Is this a good company? And we had the issue of the part we're repairing and escalating costs.
So this company can come in and help both the city and the resident defer costs in a way.
Absolutely. For example, our costs to do the right-of-way repairs last year were about $1.1 million. Part of the solicitation we did, independent of the National League of Cities and the Council of Governments, was to request proposers for us to address that cost, and as part of that, to provide an opportunity for our residents to have a warranty program should they decide to do that. Right. Totally voluntary. And by putting the two together, it really makes a nice dynamic for our residents. The program that we selected, which is SLWA, is actually going to limit our cost this year to $600,000 for the right-of-way piece. Sure. And because the city is not taking a royalty, which is typical with these kind of programs where they give the utilities sort of a benefit for supporting the program, our residents will have opportunity to get a warranty program should they desire for below market cost.
Okay, let's get to our next question. Jerry Pendleton says that he received the letter and he felt like it looked like a scam. So he wondered, why would Arlington support the efforts of a private company that he thought looked kind of fishy? And we should point out in the letter, and maybe you could answer for us why, there is the city logo here and it is signed by you, but this letter was actually sent by the company, not by the City of Arlington.
Right.
So kind of explain that process to us.
Well, as part of the proposal, the request for proposals, the successful bidder, which was SLWA, had to take responsibility for all the costs associated with communications with our residents.
Right.
We had an override on that before anything could be sent out. So we actually jointly participated in the verbiage in the letter.
Sure.
They paid for all the costs for the mailing and all the handling.
Yeah. And the important part here is with our logo on it, it means that you guys have vetted the program, you've vetted the company, and so that the resident doesn't have to worry about that component of it, right?
Exactly. A lot of the initial inquiries from residents was, is this a scam? Is this company credible? Sure. Well, now you can take comfort in knowing that we have actually contracted with that company to do work for us, and if you want to partner on that or piggyback on that by getting an individual home warranty, well, that's wonderful. Yeah. But people can at least feel comfortable that we actually have vetted the company and have actually entered into contract with them.
Okay. Our next question comes to us from Dean Precourt, and he wrote, he wants to know if the repairs being made are in the City of Arlington's budget. If so, is the money already set aside? He says, if it's non-budgeted income, then the answer is no. And this gets back, I think, a little bit, Buzz, to the right-of-way component of this. And there's a lot of expense that could be very expensive for the City of Arlington on the right-of-way component, correct?
Correct. Our costs for the right-of-way repairs, which we have been undertaking, have been escalating dramatically the last few years. Last year they were $1.1 million. With this new proposal and this competitive bid, we've now capped that at $600,000, which means for our budget, we've reduced the cost that we would have to recover from our residents in sewer rates by $500,000, which is almost equivalent to a 1% rate increase. So that's the real positive side from the budget standpoint. As we go forward, as I said, we've agreed not to accept royalties, so in essence there's no revenue stream coming to the city for this, but there is a reduction in the cost to a resident for the warranty program because of that royalty fee not being charged.
In the private component of this, if you have a sewer line issue on your private property and you don't have insurance, the cost can be upwards of, in some cases, $3,000 or $4,000 to repair without insurance, correct?
Absolutely. And again, the goal of the letter was really threefold.
Right.
To announce the new right-of-way contract,
sure,
and actually, in essence, celebrate the fact that we've reduced some costs for our residents, because they pay all the bills.
Right.
To announce that we've got a new phone number and
Sure.
contact 24/7, and the company is guaranteed that they'll have somebody addressing a sewer backup within 60 minutes. So we wanted to streamline that process because we know how uncomfortable and unsightly a sewer backup is for our residents. And then the third piece being that there is a warranty program and reminding residents that the portion from the pavement basically into their house is their responsibility. Some people don't even realize that.
Right, okay. Our last question that we got for this segment that we wanted to get to comes to us actually from Bill Coleman. And Bill wrote to us wanting to know how much the city is making off this deal. And if the city is not making anything, why couldn't they add a small amount to the water bill to keep the money in our city? You mentioned there's no royalty fees, and that the city actually opted not to do that, correct?
That's correct. We specified that. The other thing that I think is important for people to know is the company, as part of their proposal to be competitive, offered to provide the city with $75,000 the first year and then $50,000 per year for the next 3 years. That money is earmarked for our Care and Share program, which means it will go to help financially challenged residents in paying their bills. So the city absolutely gets no funding from this, either from a royalty fee or from that fee. And we're excited about that. We think that was a nice thing.
Yeah. Perfect. Buzz, thanks so much for being here and answering these questions. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. And folks, thank you at home for sending us those questions and taking the time to do that. We really do appreciate it. That will do it for this week's Ask Arlington. Tune in next time, of course, when we'll answer more of your questions.